Yeah. This is gonna
Oh,
be a fun conversation.
oh boy. So let's get into it. So this reported off of Kotaku.com from Jason Schreier. Um, oh, this is actually about the video, but this is in regards to Diablo and the response. Um, when the Blizzard sold Diablo announcements at this year's BlizzCon turned out to be a game for phones, it set up a firestorm of angry reactions from fans of who had hoped for a new Diablo for PC. But what about Diablo 4? Let's see. It's updated actually. So the article originally stated that Blizzard had recorded a video planned for BlizzCon in which a co-founder, Alan Adham, talked about a new Diablo game. Although we can confirm that the video was made, Blizzard disputes that it was planned for BlizzCon. First off, we want to mention that we definitely hear our community. We generally don't comment on rumors or speculation, but we can say that we didn't pull any announcements from BlizzCon this year or have plans for other announcements. We do continue to have different teams working on multiple unannounced Diablo projects, and we look forward to announcing when the time is right. However, two people familiar with Blizzard's plans confirmed that the company had indeed recorded a video in which co-founder Alan Haddon spoke to fans about the new Diablo project. What's in dispute here is the timing. We had originally reported that it was planned for BlizzCon, but it's possible that those plans were simply discussed and never solidified. Either way, the video never came out. We confirmed that Diablo 4 is indeed in development. One of those sources told me that the Diablo team wasn't yet ready to commit to an announcement, as Diablo 4 has changed drastically over the past 4 years, and may continue to change further.
Yeah, that's the exact same report I got. Because the problem is that just real briefly after this fiasco, I think it was somebody from Kotaku had put out an article that was basically like they had footage according to according to an insider, and then other people who have Blizzard insiders were like, oh, that's completely counter to what we've heard.
Yeah,
So yeah, um hearing that it's in development and that it's gone through multiple changes and that's why it technically wasn't there makes more sense than anything.
absolutely. I think, and just to back this up regarding the whole fiasco, at BlizzCon during the announcements, they were, announcing, from each genre. You had Hearthstone, you had World of Warcraft, you had Warcraft 3 or 4, just going down the line. What they saved for last was the Diablo Immortal announcement, which was for mobile, which for phones. Um, and
And let's be honest, Anthony, it doesn't look that bad. Like, granted, it is sort of a reskinned game from China.
mm-hmm.
Not entirely. Like, there are aspects of it that are different. Like, it just uses the same like sort of engine.
So, and I can speak to that because I did play the game at BlizzCon. The game itself is fine. Like and take it with a grain of salt. Like I don't particularly play a lot of games on phone because it becomes rather use my phone for everything else or use it to play games and drain battery power. But I did play the game at BlizzCon. It was fine. Like the control scheme seems pretty. It was they're on the screen. Like you can be able to combo into whatever combo setup you have of your character. And you get to move around with using your the digital joypad on screen, and it was fine. Like it was Diablo, and it was basically doing the same thing like you did in Diablo PC, but it's on a mobile. And I'm very indifferent about it, but it worked just as shown.
I think the problem that comes from that is Diablo is not a poop game.
That yeah, you're right. That is a good point. It is not. Because you are consistently moving around and you were definitely tapping on the screen a lot.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're playing it on your phone, you're probably gonna be playing your phone for a hot minute. It's not a most phone games work best and are most popular when you're sitting on the bus going to work, or you're on your lunch, or you're taking a shit, things like that. When you're not at your PC, when you're not at your Xbox or PS4 or Switch, they are a lot of phone games are designed for quick in, quick out gameplay. Diablo doesn't seem like it's built for quick in, quick out gameplay.
No, not at
So
all.
I'm very curious. From what I've heard, like the game's good, but it plays like Diablo. Doesn't really, speak. Ooh, I need to have this game.
Yeah, it's fine. Like it's again, like when I played it, it was Diablo on phone. Like, there's no much I can say other than the fact that like there is a possibility of and maybe it's a separate mode. But like when I played it there, like I was running to other players that were there to show floor that were playing with me. So I could team up with them at any given point and play with other players to fight a boss or to kind of get gold with them. But to me, like it was fine. Like I think that people will probably latch onto it, but I don't think it's not mind blowing to me. Like it's not like game of the year type of stuff.
Yeah, I think speaking to the other elephant in the room. So did you watch the footage of the live reveal?
I did. I went back and I watched it with on the Twitch channel on Blizzard, and I saw very much the minute it was announced for mobile, the entire chat just ascended to just no.
Yeah, well, I mean, because the way that they did it was so bad.
That's their thing too. Yes, like, and actually, go ahead. You do. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they first off they hyped up a new Diablo game.
Mm-hmm.
Then they tried to de-hype it,
mm-hmm.
but it was way the fuck too late, especially for people who are huge fans of Diablo, play thousands of hours into the game, kind of the only game they play, but spent thousands of dollars to get to BlizzCon,
mm-hmm.
to be told that the next game is a mobile game, really fucking is a punch to the gut, especially as they are PC gamers.
Absolutely.
There's another aspect to this though. Had they said, "Hey, we have a mobile game, let's show that real quick,"
mm-hmm.
Diablo Immortal, da 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 da. It's the only Diablo we have coming out in any kind of time span, but we are working on 4. We have it in development right now. Here's a logo. Pull a Bethesda.
Yep, exactly. Yes.
Nothing would have been said. Fans have just been like, "That's kind of lame," but at least I'm getting my Diablo 4, down the road.
Yeah.
Nobody would have fucking said a word. Mm-hmm. But then they were like, "The new Diablo, boom, check it out, folks," and the audience was like, "Buh," and then the fucking like developer guy was like, "We don't have phones."
Yeah, that was pretty fucking pretentious. Like,
super fucking bad. Like I was like. Ugh, guys, come on.
Like don't get me wrong. Like I'm pretty much in the same mindset of you, Greg. But like definitely with the treatment of those devs got that weekend was pretty bad by the community.
Oh, I don't condone. I condone what the fans did.
Yeah,
I do condone expressing disappointment.
Exactly.
Totally cool with that.
Yes.
Don't condone how they handled it.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to somebody who was at the panel for Diablo Immortal, and she was like, yeah, it was so bad that they were calling that guy that went up and was just like, "Is this an April Fool's joke? Are you guys fucking serious?" Douche 2.0. So I mean that was the whole thing, but like it was like the worst part about it is I was listening to a lot of Pierce, and she was talking to a few people who had worked on the game, and she was like, they're very proud of the product. Like, you're basically telling people who are proud of the work that they've done that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of fucked up. Yeah. Like, you don't have to play the game at all and walk away from the whole thing. You don't have to be a complete fucking asshole douche to people who are just doing their job. Yeah. Who are trying to put out a good product.
Absolutely. On the other side, though, I the way the Blizzard set that up, though, like, because like you in general when you have press conferences, especially of this size, you have your games leading up into your big announcement, your plus one, or what's the word I'm looking for, like your we got one more game we want to show you. Ending is kind of reserved to like, oh, here comes a big announcement or a game that everybody's excited for, and
like I said, look what Bethesda did. Bethesda is the only company so far to have done it correctly, because everyone was comparing. First and foremost, everyone was immediately comparing Blizzard to EA with the game, and I was like, no, time the fuck out, because what EA did, I don't care that Command & Conquer is a phone game.
Oh,
what pisses me off is what kind of game it is. Well, no, it pisses me off because I don't really fucking care. But what I can understand the disappointment coming from for Command & Conquer fans is the kind of game that it is. This Diablo phone game is Diablo. It's not some like half-assed fucking multiplayer game. So no, it's not the fucking same. Secondly, it depends if it's free to play. It depends if you have to buy it, like, you know, whatever. But this whole fiasco is only because of the stage presentation. It's only because of what they told audiences.
Yes, I mean, if it were me, if I had to rearrange the order of like what their announcements were, I would have reserved Warcraft 3 Forge as the last thing to announce, because that is something that people are excited for. Not only that, but you actually went in and redid the intro for Warcraft 3 in updated graphics, which looks fucking great. Like that is.
Wait, were they all told at the same conference? Same presentation? Because I thought that each game got their own little thing.
So
because when I look at the stage for Diablo Immortal, like, it looks like it's built for Diablo Immortal, not, or at least Diablo in general.
I see what you're saying. So from what I saw online, I wasn't there in person until the second day. But in terms of like the presentations were all on one stage. They did go to like Hearthstone and area, and they go to the Overwatch arena to kind of showcase their game, but they were all being live streaming to every part of the BlizzCon. So if you were at the Diablo area, like, you're still getting the live stream of the main feed. So no matter what you were still getting the stream.
Okay, so on that note, I don't think what you're about to say, I don't think it has any kind of bearing on anything other than the fact that they just had scheduled things throughout the event. I don't think that they were like, let's save this fucking mobile game for last. Like, I don't think that happened. I think that happened within the Diablo group, but not the overall event. You see what I'm saying?
But it was shown everywhere. Like, like it was.
Okay,
it was.
You're saying it was shown everywhere.
Yeah.
But if I go to a convention, Anthony, and there's a specific room or panel where they're going to announce a game, but that particular panel happens to also be airing on every other TV, doesn't necessarily mean that it's everywhere. It just means that it's in that room and being broadcasted.
Yeah, and
So within that group, I think that they went, okay, so on day one, we're going to announce stuff for World of Warcraft, and then Warcraft that day, and then later that night, Overwatch, and then the next day we're going to go to StarCraft and Diablo. I think that's all they did. That's it. And then each individual group was like, how do we present our stuff? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so. I believe I think what you're saying.
Now, if you want to concentrate on how Diablo handled the Diablo group handled their presentation, we can dive into that, because that's where they fucked up.
That is true. But they showed everything on Twitch though, or like it was all on the main. It was all on one channel. Like, it wasn't separate. So
you keep going back to that, Anthony, but it doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. But like it in terms of like how they were presented. You could definitely have said differently as far as like how it was or how it could have been, but regardless of what it is, like, we're here now, and Blizzard did not expect this amount of backlash from the announcement, and
no, I don't think they did at all. I think that they were anticipating people being excited about a fucking mobile game.
Yeah. Which
you don't tell your PC audience,
yeah.
Who, by the way, let's be honest, most PC players are pretty pretentious.
Hey,
you don't tell them that their next big game is a mobile game. You don't do that.
Absolutely,
it's not going to work for you.
Absolutely, and you hit it right on the head. And something I've also thought about and heard from a lot of other people, the same idea. So
yeah,
but yeah,
I think that a lot of people in general. Like, we've talked about this in the past. We talked about it with Smash. We're going to talk about it with this. There are a lot of privileged gamers that feel entitled. And
absolutely,
with that entitlement comes asinine bullshit things that they want to say, that they want to throw out there. And it's got to be incredibly difficult for devs and people just working on the project as a whole to kind of filter out the bullshit to get to the actual criticism. like the good constructive criticism.
Yeah.
So if you're out there giving Blizzard like, hey, I'm not getting the mobile game because I have no interest. I'm a PC player, and the way that you announced it, the way that it was presented was very insulting. Do that. Just do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to send death threats. You don't have to call other people names. Like, just chill the fuck out, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I would love for Diablo 4, and I still am. But like,
Also, if you're the type of player that sticks to one fucking type of game, there's other games. Please play other games. Don't fucking stick to one game. That's dumb. Like, I'm just gonna say it right now. I'm gonna sound like an asshole. It's kind of weird and dumb to stick to one game.
to each your own. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Anthony, if you're trying to get good at a game, I understand that. So you're gonna play that most of the time.
Yeah.
But if that's the only game you play, that's kind of weird.
Right. I mean, hey, again, to each your own. Like, Greg, you can say that. I'm not.
I'm gonna say it. I don't care. Like it's so bizarre to me that people would sit there and just play one type of game all the time. Like, not even the best fucking Overwatch players play Overwatch all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
They switch it the fuck up because it's. Anyway.
Yeah, but we can definitely go on about this, but like, I think it's time for our next thing. Give me a second here, and we get that set up real quick.